Hi, Kourtney. It's Maria. It's July 20th, 2010. It's a Tuesday, and this is my fourth time trying to make this video. It's hard to make a video in a store when people keep coming in, mainly my brother. That's beside the point. Okay. So, your challenge. I admit defeat. I can't find the answers. You'll be proud. I tried. I went on to Google. I Googled it. I looked at diagrams I did not want to look at, but I did. And I'm admitting defeat. I don't know what muscles they were. You can tell me, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot when you do. And I'll give you my challenge in a tiny little bit. Now, last week you discussed hogweed, which is this weed which is really in the newspapers lately. And I was thinking it would be cool for me to discuss another invasive species, another plant. This plant I personally am really familiar with because at the park that I work in, I will go around once every couple of weeks. We take turns, and I'll have to pick this weed. A lot of it. I am intimately familiar with this. It is known as garlic mustard. Now, garlic mustard has been in North America for almost 100 years. It was brought over by European settlers who, because they had heard that they were going to be living in the backwoods, decided, I'm going to bring over this plant, which I know if I was in Europe and living in the forest, it'd be something I could eat, and they believed that it had medicinal purposes to it. So they brought it over to North America thinking that this would be a great plant to have since they knew they were pretty much going to be living off the land. And this was a plant they were familiar with. The problem with that was that there was no natural insect or fungi or anything which would affect it. So it had no natural predators. That meant that all of a sudden there was nothing to keep it in control once it was brought over to North America, and it just boomed. The University of Michigan does a really wonderful study of it, and you can go online to their website and come across pictures, and you'll see just how much of overpopulation the garlic mustard goes through. It can destroy whole forests by not letting saplings grow up. The cool thing with it is that there's actually a toxin it'll release into the soil, which will help kill off the plants around it, which will make it easier for the plant to continue growing and taking over a location. As well, their seeds, if you were to pick garlic mustard, their seeds can lie dormant for up to 5 years. So you have to make sure when you dispose of garlic mustard that you put it into a plastic bag and you get rid of it in your garbage. Because if you just let it sit on the ground, one plant can have thousands of seeds. So all of a sudden, if you just let it sit there, it can wait for up to 5 years, and all of a sudden you might have 1,000 plants. And it just gets really out of control. So if you're traveling to or from areas, if you know that you live in an area where there's garlic mustard, or if you're traveling to an area with garlic mustard, there's just a few precautionary measures you need to take. For one thing, if you're camping, hose down all your material. Make sure that there's no leaves or dirt on it as much as you can. I know you're camping, there's going to be leaves and dirt and seeds and all that sort of stuff, but for the most part, just try to keep your the wheels of your car, hose those down, and the underside of your car, and also your camping gear as much as you can, and it just helps contain it. So that way it's easier to control something or try to control something if it's contained. It's much harder when it's being spread all across the country. I know now that it's even popping up in the Maritimes and PEI, where it was never before. And it's getting more and more northern as well. It's kind of just spreading like crazy because of everyone traveling. So garlic mustard, that's my plants. If you have any other questions, Courtney, just ask, and maybe I'll do a blog about it. I don't know. So, my challenge to you is a bit different. So you did your area of study. You did bones and muscles, or you did muscles, you didn't do bones, but that's beside the point. Now it's my area of expertise, history. My 2 questions to you are, 1, why are apples shipped in square-like crates? Another question for you is, I have it written down, thankfully. Where does the word S-H-I-T come from? Now, both these stories I have told you. So hopefully you'll just remember and you won't have to actually look up anything. However, if you don't listen to me, you probably will have to look up something and just Google it. But I'm pretty sure you'll be able to Google these. I'm a nice friend. I give you challenges you can actually accomplish, and you don't have to look at disgusting diagrams. Just saying. And yes, on to my review. Finally, I've never made it this far, and I'm going to guarantee someone is going to come in that door. Okay, so really quickly, I reviewed a fan fiction called Wonderland, written by Mia Mia Me, which is really fun to say. Mia Mia Me. Anyways, she did a Harry Potter time travel Hermione-centric fanfiction. And I think it's really well done. Now, my big pet peeve, if you read my blog called Time Travel of Doom, which was about how to overcome some of the pitfalls that people writing about time travel will have to deal with or usually fall into. One of my biggest pet peeves was characters know everything that's going to happen because they're from the future. Now, I'm a history major. I like to think that I know a lot about history, or at least some history. You know, just general knowledge. However, as much as I've studied, let's say, World War I, if I was sent back there, I probably wouldn't exactly remember everything. If I was sent 100 years ago in just where I live here near Ottawa, I probably would still have a really hard time remembering what was going on. So therefore, it really bothers me when a character goes back in time and all of a sudden it's like they're like an oracle. They just know everything, and it just bugs me because a normal average person would not know everything. It's kind of like a Mary Sue. So, and if you guys don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's like a perfect character, which is bothersome and not fun to read. So anyways, this fanfiction is about Hermione, who goes back in time during a battle. They had a really good explanation for it, that it was a battle and a time turner had been... Telephone!